The sticky situation in the quaint little town of Craftsville, where everyone dabbled in art to some extent, lived a resident enthusiast named Rosy. She wasn't just any enthusiast. She had an affinity for trying things she barely knew about. It was one fine afternoon that Rosy stumbled upon the mystical wonders of resin crafting. Rosy, who owned an impressive collection of random hobbies, decided that resin crafting was her next great adventure. How hard could it be, she mused, gazing at a picture of a perfectly clear resin necklace with a tiny daisy encased within. Eager, she ordered the beginner's kit online, featuring everything she needed, or so she thought. It came with resin, hardener, molds of questionable shapes, and directions she never intended to read thoroughly. Literally, the day arrived when Rosy excitedly unpacked her kit. She looked at the bottles labeled resin and hardener. It seemed deceptively simple. The instructions, glanced at but not comprehended, advised a careful 1-to-1 ratio. Now, Rosy was never one for precision and promptly winged it, believing more of everything made better art. She poured an arbitrary amount of resin into a plastic cup and squirted an equally random proportion of hardener. It was an ungodly concoction that would soon ooze into her molds. "This feels right," she said optimistically, unaware that the mixture resembled something between chunky soup and extra thick yogurt. With her molds lined up like ducks in a row, Rosy began the pour. Each mold received a healthy glob of whatever substance she had birthed in the mixing phase. "It's like culinary art," she quipped, even though it looked more like hazmat art. Rosy's hand slipped during pouring, and she accidentally created a resin lake on her work desk. Frantic, she grabbed what she deemed was a safety stick, it was a chopstick, to redirect the resin tide back to its intended molds. Satisfied with her endeavors, Rosy left the resin to cure, hopeful for a gallery-worthy reveal the next day. But something puzzling happened. Overnight, instead of pulling into solid specimens, some molds started bubbling like a witch's brew. The following morning, Rosy found herself staring at lumpy blobs with a texture of dried oatmeal. Perhaps they'd matured, she speculated, still convinced there was a glimmer of masterpiece hidden in the chaos. Undeterred, Rosy used what she salvaged, fashioning keychains and pendants. They were impeccably unique, by which everyone in Craftsville meant disastrous. Rosy decided to gift her first resin crafts to friends at the local art fair. She gave Ruth a heart-shaped one she titled Testament to Love's Hardships, though it looked more like a misshapen potato. It wasn't long before Rosy realized there might be wisdom in instructions. She returned her kit, read through the directions, and discovered the science of resin crafting. Armed with knowledge, she tried again, wiser, and with no more gelatinous goo. Her third attempt was the charm. She ended up with dazzling, transparent pieces that even her skeptical cat admired.